Boom. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to 5 Till Midnight. Hopefully, I caught the first few seconds of that. But anyways, after a little bit of a internet and Twitter hiatus for me, I'm very, very happy to be back, especially with the lovely Monica Perez, who I haven't spoken to in years. Very, very good to catch up with her. And of course, it's good to catch up with my boys, Adam and Typo. Wish Luke and Sam were here, but they're busy
Fuck
doing
Sam.
other
I'm
things.
pissed at Sam. I'm so
Regardless, it's good to see everybody. It's very, very good to be back.
I mean, we got to fill people in on what the fuck, why we're on Monica's channel and not our own.
It's a mess.
We're suspended from YouTube for 2 weeks. Okay. I don't know why. They just gave us a strike. 2-week fucking strike. Fine. Whatever. We have a Rumble. I don't have access to the Rumble. It's the only thing I don't have access to. Sam does. Sam went MIA. I have no idea where the fuck Sam is. So we can't get the Rumble. Monica's gracious enough to fucking help us out and throw us on her YouTube and Rumble. So Monica, you're a hero. Thank you for joining our show on your channel.
My pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's a long, convoluted chain, but eventually we figured it out. So we're as usual fashionably late, but regardless, like I said, I'm happy that we could all be here. So I don't know what the exact topics were for today, but one thing I did see that just dropped actually right before we went live was the Nick Fuentes Tucker Carlson interview. So I am kind of curious of everybody's thoughts on that. I have some thoughts, but Monica, I'll let you take it away first.
Well, I'm not a huge fan of Tucker Carlson, so I don't, he's about as, isn't he in the CIA? So, and I think
I tend to think so.
So I feel like I didn't hear the thing, but I'll tell you why I don't listen to that stuff, because it's like Fed versus Fed. I don't know how to care about what they're actually saying, because I think what they've done is made, this is just what's happening right now, is that they're, instead of, they call it flooding the zone. They're drowning out legitimate criticisms of things like, immigration or the Gaza, whatever, massacre. It's not a war, it's just whatever. So by having somebody who's like racist or says really obnoxious things or like use a lot of slurs and everything, which I think really discredits those arguments. So when people get promoted and have that, represents the right or whatever, I just figure they're feds, and I don't follow the blow by blow. And I also think sometimes the blow by blow is there to keep you distracted from real issues like this No Kings protest thing. And they keep saying, like, we want democracy. I'm like, democracy is not the answer, and the king is not the problem. The problem is we want to restore the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, and democracy is not the way to do that. So I just feel like real issues get muddled by these ideological or identity or whatever, and I think both of those guys promote that.
I think,
but I want to hear what you think.
No, of course. I think that's a fair criticism. And I've long since said that, like, a lot of the MAGA wing, pretty much everybody who campaigned for Trump in this last election was pretty much CIA. I mean, you talk about Alex Jones, Tucker Carlson, who else am I thinking of? Peter Thiel. A lot of these guys pretty much are CIA. Larry Elder, for example, who who has a YouTube channel that's directly linked with the Epic Times, which is funded through the National Endowment for Democracy. So, I mean, it was pretty much like the Department of Justice versus the CIA in this election, and Trump representing technocracy and the CIA, where the Biden administration was more of like the FBI and woke corporations. So that's kind of who you had battling it out in this last election. And I think that, like, Tucker also does have a place, because I think that he speaks to some elites in some regards, where, like, the conversations, the criticisms that he has of certain things are a lot more digestible for the average person. But I still think it's fair to say that, like, hey, we should kind of question where he's coming from. And also very publicly lying about your dad's ties to the CIA and saying that you didn't know, when, like, all you have to do is Google Dick Carlson and you'll find out that like, I'm sorry, Tucker, I don't believe you for a minute that you didn't know your dad was in the CIA until, like, this is very clearly,
I mean, they're definitely weaponizing truth. Like, they let people say true things, and then
a limited
that
hangout.
Again, and then they throw it into a hopper with Bigfoot and UFO, and then all of a sudden, like, my conspiracy theories, I'm crazy because I'm a conspiracy, but I'm not. Like, this stuff is probably pretty well documented.
The big Nick Fuentes thing for me was always the J6 thing, where he's like never got brought in for questioning, and when people who were just there, they were like, they identify people with their keychains and arrested them. It's like, but he just gets a free pass. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I believe he's explained that at one point or another. I could not give you the play-by-play, and I'm not even saying his play-by-play is legit. I don't know, but I know that's been leveled at him a lot, and I know there was a big push from Tucker Carlson and Max Blumenthal to really discredit him, and there were people legitimately getting paid to put out Fed Fuentes right after that, which I kind of get it. But I feel like there's probably a little more information out there that doesn't quite get all the attention that initially did. So, Typo, I feel like you even got to say a lot. So, why don't you take up some air as well?
Well, I mean, like, it's like a really good online story. Like, this kid that's been ostracized from the community for like ever, and somehow still has relevance and like came back. Even like, I mean, he's pretty big now. Like my little cousins, my family will send me stuff about him, and they're like, "Hey, what do you think about this guy?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, dude!" Like, a long time ago when I first came here, it was like I didn't even really know who he was. He was like on Cozy or whatever his streaming service is. Like, I don't know. He was banned on everything. And Tucker Carlson has always been like kind of a mainstream guy. Like my dad and like my grandparents and like aunt and uncles, they know him. Right. So it is kind of like cool in a way that for the political discourse, it's like the clash of generations in a way, like Tucker Carlson representing a lot of boomers. But yeah, I mean, it's weird. Like I never thought this would happen. But I do think that like Tucker Carlson is probably still connected to the CIA in some way. I'm not exactly sure the whole story of what's really going on there. But it seems like a lot of times it's like Judge Knapp hangs out with like similar CIA type guys. Like there's almost like a factional dispute that happened in the CIA. Like, I don't know if you want to call them America firsters or more political, foreign policy, political realist versus like neocons or something. Like, I'm not exactly sure what's going on, but there's different, like, definitely different factions of the CIA that are kind of pro-Trump or more America first. Yeah. And then there's other factions that are, neocon and still trying to regime change every country that doesn't do exactly what we say. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know exactly what to make of Tucker Carlson, because sometimes I see him, I'm like, I didn't think he'd ever say something like that. And then sometimes I'm like, okay, there it is. That's the, keeping the, I don't know what you'd call it,
keeping the people on the plantation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like a hit or miss with him. And maybe he's honest
that's
about
what keeps
it.
democracy alive, right? In a bad way.
Yeah. One
like,
thing
oh,
that
look, we're represented here, and we almost, they're fighting the good fight. Like, don't worry about it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Me and Dave DeCamp kind of talked about this at one point, and we said that, like, basically if Tucker is CIA, then I think his entire angle is to basically bring all the people in who are anti-war and really get them kind of focused on the coming, Cold War and eventually hot war with China, because that's kind of always been his angle. You could really hear him talk about this when he had John Mearsheimer on, who I actually like both. I do like Tucker and I do like John Mearsheimer. It's just as soon as they start talking about China, it's so funny because, like, I can't square this with John Mearsheimer, where he says, like, the U.S. should follow the Monroe Doctrine and have our own sphere of influence and our sphere of security, even, which is kind of like something that Jeffrey Sachs has started to talk about recently. But though China can't be a major regional hegemon in their own continent, which to me, I don't know how you square that, saying that, like, the U.S. should have hegemony over, this hemisphere and Southern America and obviously North America, but China can't have, China can't basically be the hegemon over Taiwan, Japan, and all them. And, I get it. You can say that China's, not the greatest democracy in the world, but once again, how can you say that we're supposed to have our sphere of influence, but another global superpower that has nukes as well can't have their own sphere of influence? To me, that doesn't make any sense.
I've read a few of his books, and I think it's just really just an ideological trapping that he has. I think he honestly believes what he says.
So do I,
but
yeah.
in the end of the day, I think it's that like he believes if like America does not keep China down, then China will rise. And you know, in a lot of ways, I think the actions that America does actually helps China, or you know, at least gives them the like they can go through and like actually, you know, make deals with other countries and maybe even be hostile to America in ways, because, well, I mean, we're just constantly sanctioning them and like picking on them and bothering them and trashing them. Like our politicians just trash them all the time. So it's like you're it's almost like they're creating the devil that they're afraid of in the end of the day, is how I see it.
China is the right Russia.
yeah.
To a large degree, and not that like a lot of the left wasn't bad on China as well, because like Joe Biden, which it's kind of bizarre for me to watch, because one of the big reasons why I didn't want to support Trump this election, and there were plenty of reasons, but one of them is that he's surrounded by just people who are absolute maniacs when it comes to China, like Rubio, for example, and then Elbridge Colby, who's generally a little bit more dovish in a lot of areas, but I mean, he's explicitly called for a war with China over Taiwan. So it's just people like that. But then you see Trump saying like, "Oh no, I have a very good relationship with Xi. I want to have lots of trade talks with Xi." Like, it seems like he's kind of the most dovish one, but all the people around him, including JD Vance, Marco Rubio, as you said, Elbridge Colby, all of these guys are just absolute man. Joe Kent, another one, are just
China might want a war. They might agree to have a war, but I'm more afraid that they're going to invade Venezuela. What do you think about that?
China invading
China?
Venezuela?
No.
Us.
Rubio.
I said
it's definitely a track record for us to go into South America and fuck shit up. So it's
I
like
think they have 10,000 troops there off the coast.
Yeah, so they've moved a bunch of aircraft carriers down there just like as recently as yesterday. And this kind of goes to my idea that Rubio's really calling the shots, kind of like Jake Sullivan was for Joe Biden. Honestly, I think Trump's mental capacity really isn't there. I'm not saying he's as senile as Joe Biden. I'm saying he's definitely walking that path. He's an old boomer. He's going to die eventually. And he just doesn't have the same capacity or desire to run the world. Yeah.
Like the Koch brothers are waiting on the edge of their bed, wondering what Marco Rubio is going to do next. Is that what you're suggesting? Because there's no way Rubio's calling the shots. Somebody's telling him what to do.
I don't believe anybody's calling the shots. It's all like a puppet regime.
Somebody's calling those shots, but probably nobody whose face is saying it.
Rubio's gonna get he's gonna get the call from somebody and be like, "Oh, we gotta go to Venezuela."
But you could kind of see where a lot of this policy is being driven from, because it's a lot focused around Rubio's his consistent interventionist beliefs over the last
he's there. That's what I was going to say about all these
he's
guys.
The big figurehead.
He's there for that thing. And Tucker, I think that everybody's there for, some people have a higher level roles, but as far as media personalities, for example, I think it could easily just be one thing. They're there for one thing. So Tucker could be there for warmongering China. Jordan Peterson for, just take the damn vax, you get a lot of credibility. And then that's that one thing like, well, he was right on all this other stuff. So I'm going to give my kid the vax, like whatever. Rubio's, I think, like, I thought when they were looking at Cruz, he was born in Canada, which made him not qualified to be president, but he also had like Latin, whatever name and roots. So I thought he'd be the North American Union guy. And then that didn't, I feel like they put these people up, Hillary, Trump, Cruz, and all of them, any one of them could win. It would be fine. They set them all up for legitimacy issues. That's very important to keep us at each other's throats. Hillary had immigrant votes. Trump had the Russiagate thing. Cruz was completely not qualified, constitutionally not qualified. So Rubio would be somebody who's like Miami Cuban thing would make him ideally suited to kind of get this regional hegemony going, restoring that. So I agree with you. Like there's the hegemony thing. And I think Mearsheimer talks about that kind of stuff a lot.
Yes.
And then, but yeah, they want to deny it of China, I don't know if we're at the stage where you could have a true global hegemon. It does not look like it. But I don't think they even want it. I think they want to kind of divide it up. They want like Russia and China, like kind of. I think the guys want to divide up the spoils of the world, and the one thing, if there is any disagreement at the top, the one thing is who gets the bulk of the chip money, the chip power. And that's where I think the issue is between. Other than that, like you look at COVID policy, everybody did it.
Yeah. When they chose Marco Rubio, like his nickname in the Senate was the Secretary of Latin America. So when they chose him to be the Secretary of State, because there's all these like Latin countries that they love, like a lot of them love Marco Rubio. He was like their guy that they talked to, communicated with, and it was because he was from Latin America. And he was, I don't know. I think he speaks Spanish. I'm not sure.
Well, it's so funny when
he's from
I hear
Miami.
Yeah. It's so well, he's legitimately an anchor baby, right? His parents were like drug lords down in South America. And then he comes here and he's now pushing for regime change, which it's so funny to me to hear like pro-Trump people who say immigration is the most important issue now licking the boot of a fucking anchor baby who's trying to overthrow and regime change Venezuela.
Trump's 2 out of 3 wives were immigrants.
It's
actually the illegal
They're the good
immigrants.
ones though. They're white.
No, but I like the illegal immigrants because they help me. The legal immigrants are going to crowd my kids out of.
Monica, I know what you're saying. They're the call center Americans. Bob from Iowa, who just so happened to be from India.
Well, they're also too busy telling everybody on the highway, so they got a lot going on.
You're getting CDLs in California and just trashing the roads.
Did you see that? Another one just happened like
really?
last week.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
He was on drugs and just crashed right into a car that got pushed through another truck and just killed the whole
Real
car.
truckers are getting squeezed out. My brother was a trucker. He used to visit me all the time, but he won't come because his truck isn't up to snuff. And they over the years they cut him back to where he can only drive like 10 hours a day. He like learned the clarinet. He's like sitting on the side of the road playing the clarinet. He's like finally just retired.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. I mean, all these guys that we were talking about earlier, like the Carlsons, the Rubio. What's that? Not Carlin. Yeah, kind of, but more like of like like every president is like bloodline back to like one king of England.
That's what they say,
right? It's like it's like these guys are all in the club for a reason, and we're never gonna know the real reason.
We're not in it,
right? But like they're all controlled oppositions, both sides of the aisle. It doesn't fucking matter. Like it just the same shit.
It seems to me like everything is about funneling all surplus wealth needs to funnel to the top, like which is financial capitalism is an easy way to see that, but like even tips. So I used to be a waitress for a long time. I made a ton of money, had tons of cash. Other women who I worked with were single moms. They could raise their kids. So when they started this thing where we don't want 15% tips, we want to give them $15 an hour and act like that was a favor. That was just a way to make sure that no surplus wealth got to the people. And I just feel like no matter who you're dealing with, like if there are a couple of factions at the top, they're all in complete agreement. There should be no surplus anywhere in the system except at the very top. And the fewer the people at the top, which is the kind of thing that it's like a tournament, in the end, they get to fewer and fewer people. But I feel like that's what this regionalization, which is kind of on plan. Like I don't know when it was really obvious to me, but I mean, I just feel like they want to put the Iron Curtain back. They're just not ready for global hegemony, and they're worried that Russia and China can compete in our sphere. So they're like, let's just put the Iron Curtain back, so at least we have our sphere.
I feel like that's the biggest reason why they're so upset with Venezuela, because there was recently they made a list of demands, and Venezuela was like, okay, fine, we'll cut ties with China. We'll literally just like saying like, hey, we'll do anything you say, just don't invade. And like besides regime change, like that's the only thing, like we have to stay in power. And they're like, yeah, that's not good enough.
They're like,
it's-
nah,
dude,
we're gonna regime change the fuck out of you.
It's like, okay, if you're an empire and you're gonna go around flexing your power to get what you want, it's like, fine, dude. We just avoided a war. You're still gonna get everything you want, and it's still not good enough to these people. It's like they need to go in to like toss around a third world country just to show who's in charge or something.
They have
Yeah,
so much oil, though.
Yeah, actually,
Is it
Venezuela has
really?
the most oil. Yeah, Venezuela
Yeah.
has the most oil out of any country in the entire world.
So they just
Even
want
more-
it. Yeah.
Yeah, even more than Saudi Arabia. So
How come
yeah.
they aren't rich like Saudi rich?
Because the U.S. doesn't allow them to trade.
Oh,
Basically,
okay.
like they have so many brutal sanctions on them. They're not allowed to trade with like
They
anybody.
trade with China and then they get military weapons from Russia.
This is
Like
From,
that's
something.
and
what-
Iran. They get military from or military.
Oh, I didn't know
Don't
that.
they have the
Iran as well.
not Venezuela, but what's the BRICS thing? Like Brazil, Russia,
Brazil,
China, right?
Brazil, Russia, India,
India,
China,
I don't
South
know
Africa.
what Venezuela is.
South Africa. Yeah, South Africa.
right? That- yes, yeah.
Basically, like a lot of these countries that are in BRICS are also part of the Belt and Road Initiative, and Brazil and Venezuela have both recently become members of BRI as well as BRICS. Like Lula down in Brazil was actually the host of the BRICS summit this past year.
I'm sure we're threatened by that.
Yeah, well, so like BRICS is a
They
trading
are.
cooperative rather than a like a military cooperative. So basically, it's just like a lot of these countries basically coming together and having trade agreements. But I think if the U.S. continues to basically blow its wad on regime change wars overall, then yeah, eventually BRICS, like I think a lot of this tariff war is kind of sussing out whether or not BRICS really has the capacity, and like let's say China really has the capacity to operate without like a good flow of dollars, because a lot of like Chinese assets and a lot of the Chinese economy requires dollar denominated debt. So like a lot of the tariffs, if you're denying access to the US markets through tariffs, then this is kind of testing to whether or not to see we can really sever this trade relationship between the US and China, and if China's going to be able to sustain itself without dollar denominated debt. I don't know what that looks like if it continues on. So I'm sorry to take up too much air.
No,
Yeah,
it's
no,
right.
forget
If
it.
they, I was thinking about this. If they really, because maybe I'll be convinced otherwise, but I feel like the trade stuff and the tariff stuff is all bluster. It's not bluster, but it's for a purpose other than what you see is what you get, such
Yes.
as
Yes.
establishing a new global trade agreement as a
Mhm.
possibility, getting all this an excuse for all the little payola, like the Japanese deal was so crazy.
Yeah.
They agreed
It's
to
good kayfabe too.
say that again.
It's good kayfabe, as in like it gives Trump a lot of good press because he gets to basically puff his chest out and say, look, I'm going to put tariffs on this country. And then the countries generally bow because once again, they want access to dollar denominated markets.
But there's something real in the Japan
Yes.
one. So there's like $500 billion they're supposed to invest in the US. $400 billion of it is loans taken out from Japanese banks. So they're the ones who really got $400 billion
Right.
service imports for themselves. And I think like with China, if you really care about trade with China, if you really want to change that balance there, I believe they are heavily, heavily subsidized by our Navy patrolling the Pacific. I don't think we'd be able to get like $5 pounds of frozen shrimp from China if they had to pay the real cost of transportation. So I feel like until they really want to change that, because I always think as a libertarian, my first thing I think is what policies are in place that are causing the problem. If you remove that policy, another big one is wars for oil greatly subsidizes the cost of oil for everybody. So I just feel like if they were serious about the actual, we want to change the balance of trade, they could do it by just withdrawing support of global trade that's costing us.
Yeah. Slightly off topic, but kind of on topic about like world powers and stuff like that. I watched this movie on Netflix the other day called House of Dynamite. Terrible movie. Don't watch it.
Okay.
But it's so bad. It was so bad. But
Okay.
the whole premise of the movie was like a lone ICBM was launched at the U.S. And the whole movie, like they don't know from who. They never tell you from who. But I learned that we don't really have a good deterrent for ICBMs. Like
We
I
don't
looked
have an
into it.
Iron Dome.
No, I looked into it. So we
Yeah.
have like GBIs.
What happened to Star Wars? I thought Reagan gave us Star Wars.
Nope. Turns out we have about 50 GBIs, which are ground-based interceptor missiles, right? And they have like this kill payload and stuff like that. but it's only a 55% chance of stopping it. And we have nothing. So if they launch more than one, they launch one, we're probably fucked. They launch more than one, we're 100% fucked. That's why it was the whole mutually assured destruction thing. Because like we can't stop it, but we'll just dominate whoever also launch it. But like we can't stop shit. I thought we were way better than that, and we're not.
You guys agree with that? You think that's true?
I genuinely do. Because like it's widely known now. I mean, I don't know. Talking to the Asher guy or Ashton guy made me start to think a little bit different because about that Malaysian flight that like disappeared. But but generally knowledge about this that I know is that Reagan was like faking the Star Wars technology, trying to open up Gorbachev to the deal.
I remember that, but I figured it came,
I mean,
Israel has it.
They could have some crazy technology now.
They can't stop like ICBMs though, like Israel. Like they could just stop like those little rockets and shit. Like apparently nobody in the world could like stop a bunch of ICBM. Yeah, I looked. I wasn't just this doesn't come from. It came from the movie, and I was like, that can't sound right.
So aren't we giving ICBMs to Ukraine?
Yes.
This is why Russia has.
That sounds bad.
They came out with like their new one. It was like I think they called it their hypersonic.
Hypersonic, yeah.
And this is after Bush ripped up their missile agreement that we had with Russia. I forgot the name of it, but it was like in 2008 or something. Now supposedly he did it because the agreement basically meant that Russia or US are the only ones that had to follow this agreement. But the worry that Bush had was like Iran was going to develop some sort of bomb, and that's why he ripped it up. But anyways, after that, though, then we kept pushing NATO, and this was a big deal to the Russians. So they started developing even better missiles that would, like, it's even faster than. So, like, I think the response time, at least from what I remember, is like less than 5 minutes now. If they fire a missile, like
we're fucked.
You have 5 minutes to decide if that's legit or not.
Yeah.
Because, like, I mean, I'm sure the radars are way better than they were. But at one
when
point
the movie
in time,
fail safe.
There was like lots of false, I don't know, false flag, not a false flag, but
false
like positives. False. And like it was literally just guys on the Soviet Union and guys in the US just deciding not to respond.
Yeah, that's a major story.
Like, it could be a fake, and we don't want to like actually start a nuclear war because we think someone's shooting at us.
The Russian one was the big one, right? Like that one guy was like, "Oh fuck," and then it turned like it was like a false positive. And he decided not to launch, and like, good call, because we would have been fucking decimated.
Well, there was actually agreements that we would give each other radar systems, so we would know better if each other were shooting at each other, so we wouldn't have this like scared moment where we're like, I need to respond, but it could be fake. Are we gonna die? Like, it's just like it's so crazy that like what was happening
in the movie. By the way, the missile hit Chicago. Sorry, typo.
It did. Did you guys see Failsafe?
No.
Movie Failsafe. It was made at the same time as Doctor Strangelove, but it was like Doctor Strangelove, but it was a serious drama movie.
Gotcha.
And it was first, and I think the studio that did Doctor Strangelove bought the studio that did Failsafe and held Failsafe back until after Doctor Strangelove, if I'm not mistaken. But the Failsafe one was super scary because it was that exact situation. And,
I went down a whole rabbit hole last night, just like
interesting,
doing actual research on it. I was like, oh fuck, man, we don't have shit, but no one does apparently. Yeah, like we only have like 50 GPIs.
So what does Israel have? Like, what is the Iron Dome?
It's for like just rockets and shit. It's not for anything fast or like a hypersonic. Like they can't stop a hypersonic. They can't stop an ICBM. They can't stop any of that shit. It's just like all just like kind of ground-based rockets and stuff that they blow up.
Yeah, recently they were talking up their Iron Dome, all that, but I think Iran actually kind of showed that their Iron Dome has
flaws, right?
If you flood it with missiles, they were striking buildings in Israel all the time, and
really,
like they're and
so October 7th was real.
Such a rabbit hole. It was crazy last night.
Well, I don't. Let's not go that far, Monica.
Let's not go that far. But your hang gliders, and that's that.
Also, apparently, like. If there was a real launch, like let's say Russia was like, fuck it one day, and they just sent over like 50, a lot of those would also be fake warheads. So we wouldn't even know. So even if we hit the right, even if we did intercept them, it wouldn't matter. Yeah, they send dummies. We do it too. It's not like we don't do. It's the same
that's
shit.
so smart.
But it's fucking. I went down such a rabbit hole. I was like, oh shit, we're so fucked if anything happens.
Wow.
Yeah, we have like nothing. And then they're like, well, in the end of the 2020s, we're gonna get to like 60 dBIs with better technology. It's like great. So it's still not.
So when they say the next war is going to be like in space, or they talk about what is that?
You don't need it. You can just launch missiles. It doesn't matter.
Oh, that is. I think that's actually kind of true in a way, but that's why, like, so if you like, some people make the argument. I don't know how true this is, but the space race wasn't like, to better the exploration, like which country's better at exploring.
Fake.
No, it was literally trying to race to space because they were predicting that we're going to like fight wars in space. Like this is what they thought was going to happen. And I mean, they're somewhat true. I mean, those satellites they have up there, those satellites have like incredible satellite imageries. It's basically massive spying you can do on someone just from like. Dude, I was only like a low-level intel guy in the Marine Corps, and the satellites that they showed us, I was like, oh my God, dude, you can like zoom in on like someone's like license plate. Like,
that's crazy,
dude. Crazy, dude. Like it is
that
literally
is
like
crazy. That's really
And
I mean,
and
the
that was
amount
like
of
2012. So I don't know what they have now.
Right. What's the theory I always heard where it's like whatever they show you, we actually have like 50 to 80 years beyond that tech.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot.
I also heard, and this is a good conspiracy topic. We had the technology for flat screen TVs in the 50s. Whoa. So like someone invented it, and the government came and was like, "That's ours now," and we didn't get it until the 90s.
Really, I believe that. Why not?
Yeah.
And why would it's like oil that if you have a lot of oil in the ground, you don't just suck it all out and sell it immediately. You parse it out to how it's just to make sure you get the most money. Otherwise, you just flood the market. Why not sell all the TVs that you can sell for now and save that for the next thing? But of course, that would take a restraint of competition. And that wasn't always true for us unless like the people who had that technology were simply the people at the top. But now that we're more and more eliminating the little guy and erecting barriers to entry, you can have that kind of control.
Reagan was on a phone in Air Force One in like the 80s, by the way.
James Bond was on a phone in his car.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck happened? Like, how is that even possible?
Dude, Nixon was on the phone talking to some guy on the moon.
Which I don't, well, he wasn't on the moon.
Of course he wasn't.
In California.
That's ridiculous. There was no delay.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that
delay
happened.
In his conversation.
Are we all on the same? Are we all on the same page? The moon landing was bullshit.
I don't see how.
I don't know.
Why didn't they take any pictures of the stars while they were up there? That would have been interesting.
Yeah, well, the excuse behind that is like, well, there's no atmosphere. I was like, right, so wouldn't the stars be more prevalent?
Yeah, just turn your little lights off. And who took the pictures, like from the ground?
Who took the video of the fucking capsule going back to the shuttle?
I just don't believe that they got. I would believe that they got on the moon, but I don't see how they got off the moon again.
Right. And then also all the things around it where it's like, we lost the technology to go back. We recorded over the original moon landing.
Right. That's hilarious.
That would be
like, oh my gosh, it's Benson. Oh,
right.
I thought it was the moon landing.
Oh man, we taped it over with Frasier. Sorry. It's like you think that'd be this is the biggest mankind achievement ever, but we just taped over it.
And they hardly talk about it anymore.
It's
like it had a 50th anniversary, and I mean,
also NASA just blatantly admits that they like doctor photos all the time. Also, all the Mars rover landing thing that just looks
Devon
like
Island.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Devon Island?
That's
like you
the
can
same
literally
fucking thing.
overlay.
Even funnier is when they first released those pictures, they were like, "Why isn't there a red tint?" And then all of a sudden, throughout the years, they started adding a red tint to all the pictures.
And it's like in the sky and on the ground, like, the exact same.
This is bullshit. I'm not that retarded.
You know what's crazy? They admit that they do all their practices on Devon Island. And they're just like, it's amazing how identical it is to Mars. Like we got so lucky.
Yeah. I don't buy it for a second. My dad's pretty based when it comes to like a lot of stuff, but he's still on the moon shit.
He believes in the movie.
Yeah,
because he probably saw. Well, he probably didn't see it.
no,
but
he definitely did. He was
Oh,
like, he was born in
watching it.
55. Yeah, he was
Oh.
like 13, 15,
Yeah,
wherever the
you
fuck.
can't do that to people. They can't handle it.
Yeah, but like again, he's pretty good with everything. But like that is something that we just get into it all,
Yeah.
not like for real, but he'll send me articles. I'm like, this is bullshit. Stop sending me this. I'm not buying your.
The
bullshit.
only thing my mother didn't believe, so she actually thought everything's fake with you. And then when Trump was like fake news, that's fake news. Like then she was all about fake news. But the one thing she would not, she's like, dinosaurs are just too big.
Yeah,
That's
thank
not
you.
real.
Thank you. We did this. Okay, we did this on our Patreon. For everybody listening, go to our Patreon, patreon.com/Til Midnight. Kyle's a big dinosaur guy, and I had a break. We did a whole episode of like how dinosaurs are.
I had
fake
to look
today.
into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did some research.
I don't buy the dinosaur hype.
They don't even if you go to the U.S. Natural History Museum online, it's like the American Natural History. The like front page, it says we have no bones whatsoever.
Yes.
All of the bones
Yep.
are just bone-shaped rocks.
Yes.
Made of the same rock that was next to the bones.
Yep.
And I'm like, how did you know what the bone shape was? Because if you look at a tree, a petrified tree,
Right.
it's not like it doesn't look like a tree. It's like full of emeralds and stuff. Like you can see it's got quartz and
Right.
what petrifies it isn't tree-looking rocks that really looks like. So how did they know? And they're like, well, we chip it away. And I'm like, you're just guessing.
Yeah,
but my mother said, even that, it's really just clay. The ones that you're seeing aren't even that.
No, they're just molds of what they think. We found a femur and we just recreated what we thought it looks like. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean?
I think they find some stuff. Like there's look this one up about the chicken bone. Like it's amazing that we found dinosaur bones that still have flesh on them from like 250 million years ago. And the flesh like tastes like chicken. It's like, it is fucking chicken. That's a chicken bone. Like that's what happened there. And I think that the bones are like, I think there are woolly mammoths are real. They're frozen.
Right.
You can find them. There's only
we
like
have a
1
baby
million.
one, like fully intact baby one.
Oh yeah, and it's only like 1 million years ago. It's when you get to 250 million years,
right.
It just cells are just nothing's going to survive that. So I think they have mammoth bones. I think they have a lot of bones of big things and little things and birds and stuff, and they just say it's something that it absolutely positively can't be. But it's a funny thing not to believe in the dinosaurs. And then when you look at it from that perspective, you're like, this is for kids.
Yeah, Kyle.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kyle.
Jurassic Park is like a core memory of me.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Jurassic Park, and I fucking think dinosaurs are cool. I just don't think. I just don't buy it.
I don't know, and I'm just saying, man. I don't think the entire. I feel like you'd have to bullshit a lot to have an entire field of paleontology be all bullshit. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying.
No, I don't. I agree with you. I don't think it's all bullshit. I think T-Rex is ridiculous.
Yeah, tiny arms, crazy.
I mean, what was he eating?
you-
Like they
you're-
show
you might
pictures
be
of him.
right,
He's
yeah.
bigger than trees. Like, what is his range?
Then, it went from that, and then it goes to he was a scavenger. I'm like, so why does it have to be that big?
Yeah, that kind of stuff doesn't. It just doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Vultures aren't that big. They're scavengers.
Yeah, I mean, there probably is like a lot of fluff and what do I want to say, like propaganda. I don't know if that's necessarily the right word surrounding dinosaurs, but I definitely believe there probably were more like reptilian creatures that looked unrecognizable to the reptilian creatures that we have on the world, or, on the planet today. I mean, you look at like sharks and stuff like that. Sharks,
Megalodon,
alligators.
that's real, right?
Yeah.
Well, it was.
Probably.
Right.
Well, they have
Is it a
the
real
teeth
thing?
for it. They have like this.
I mean, it looks real to me.
We also don't know if that we just never saw it. Like there could still be like megalodon running around that we just have never seen.
Hey man, I threw it up last second, dude. What do you want me to fucking do?
You went to the mat for that thumbnail.
I did.
You're like, I need that.
Why did we just needed something? We just had nothing, and I didn't know what we were going to talk about, so I had to throw something up. Fuck you. What are you going to do? Thanks for joining the stream.
Megalodon is probably real. Hey, can I finish what you're going to say, Adam?
No, I was just going to say the other thing is like the Smithsonian has a lot of lore around it too, where like they're like the only like museum that like isn't open to like not edits. Fuck. That's what I'm looking for. Like they can't get like checked on I can't think of the word I'm looking for. Thank you. Audits.
You're welcome.
They don't get like audited by the government. Like they're like completely separate from all their museums and stuff like that. Also, the whole Nephilim and giant bones is very questioning around it. Like, because you've heard plenty of stories of people saying like we found giant bones.
I have
of, like,
heard that.
people.
I have the Forbidden History book.
Yeah,
got a lot of that stuff. Forbidden Archaeology.
Because that goes against a lot of what we're told, right?
So I'm reading a book called Who We Are and How We Got Here. And it's interesting because it talks about like Neanderthals and Denisovans and all that stuff. Like we don't have like a tree. It's this interwoven thing. Cause I kind of really don't believe in evolution. Like Darwinian evolution is absolutely not true. Lamarck was probably is true because he's like
which one was that one again?
Darwin was wrong. Lamarck is right. So Darwin said some random bird is born with a long beak. All the other birds die, and only his descendants. But it's mathematically impossible his way. But what Lamarck said, and I think this is probably how it works, is I don't know exactly what he said, but this is him and epigenetics, whatever, it all works together. So we have tons and tons of genetic material, and all the mutations that could ever happen, they happen and then they just get stored there. And on some level, and this is the mystery, so this is why they don't like it, because you could put God in there.
Right.
There's some subcellular intelligence that will say, oh, let's use that. And then it'll turn it on for your baby because it sees the world needs that. And that baby is going to now give it to its baby like that.
Gotcha.
And a guy named Philip Kammerer proved it in 1925 and then was like, committed suicide with 2 bullets in the back of his head, a packed suitcase, and a ticket on a plane or whatever. It's a really good book called The Case of the Midwife Toad. But anyway, so those things go like whatever human history is not exactly what you think. But one thing that really blows my mind is that whales and dolphins are mammals. Like they have hands. Yeah. They went back into the water. Like it's hard to deny that.
Well, if you look at
know what that was all about?
If you look at their bone structure, right? They have like knees and shit. They have like knee joints. Like if you look at
they're
dolphin or whale skeleton, they have knees. Well, the theory is right. They were like a wolf creature that kept going further and further into the ocean to hunt, and they adapted into like whales and dolphins. That's the.
But how long would that take?
Millions and millions of years, I guess. Yeah, it's very interesting. I'm the animal nerd in the show, so I'm fascinated by all this animal stuff.
No, I'm not a young Earth creationist. It looks like whales have hands.
Yeah, I mean, look at their their skeletons in their fins. They have like individual
their hands.
Yeah, they have hands. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So that's weird.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, I'm a Catholic. I believe in God and stuff. Do I believe in Adam and Eve, like straight up?
50 million years ago. Yeah.
I mean,
I think that was the agricultural revolution. And that then we were like, because it actually is consistent in time, 10,000 years ago, where there's a book by James Scott, who's a Yale guy, called Against the Grain, where he says that we all knew for years and years, like 4,000 years, how to make things grow. We didn't like plant shit. We would just pull the weeds out.
Right.
And then sit around and do nothing, which is what everybody really wants to do, and eat strawberries and whatever. And then there was some, I don't know what, somehow government, some strong man or whatever came around, and like the advent of slavery, taxation, and grain growing all happened around the same time. And that was 10,000 years ago, which happens to be the time, if you go back in the Bible, what the Garden of Eden would say. So you could say like why you had to work from the sweat of your brow all of a sudden. And I don't know. That's what I think it is. So I know as Catholics, we're probably not supposed to consider it to be metaphorical, but I think you can if you want to. You certainly don't have to think of time as a year-to-year thing, because isn't a day like 1,000 years?
Right. Well, we don't know what it really means, right? When God created the earth in 7 days, 7 days could be 14 billion years, right? Who the fuck knows? But here's my thing with Adam and Eve. So wouldn't we all be like related? Right? Because if there was 2 humans and they had kids and they would have
totally. And then they say, well, they lived 1,000 years back then, so now like that's why we're messed up. But didn't Cain and Abel like go out and find wives?
Oh, but the Cain and Abel was way after Adam and Eve, right?
No, they were their kids.
Oh shit, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
So
right.
I'm like,
So
I
where
don't
did
know
those
how,
wives
like,
come from? Right.
Bringing the wife home, was
right.
she a monkey? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And it seems like there was still people after Noah's Ark, because
right. Good point.
Yeah, didn't those kids go and find wives?
Oh
too?
yeah, right. That's where it would have been. Yeah, it would have.
So like apparently the flood didn't kill everyone.
Sorry,
Right.
Kyle. Did I make you mad because I think T-Rex looks?
No.
Yeah, it's over.
Oh, he's writing you in his death note. You talk.
I know. He's like, oh my gosh, I used to like her. She sucks. Between the moon landing and the T-Rex, like.
No, the moon landing, I'm less upset about than the T-Rex thing. If you talk shit about
I
T-Rexes
think
or
there's a lot
sharks,
of stuff that was real dinosaurs or birds or whatever, but T-Rex seems not
birds.
real.
Well, yeah,
I
they
think
say
they're birds, right?
Birds
Aren't
evolved
they?
from dinosaurs is the theory,
Yeah.
right? They say,
They kind
yeah.
of look
so.
like dinosaurs.
Yeah,
But
I've heard
T-Rex?
people talk about it, but yeah, like the whole what that, not the brontosaurus, but the one with the long ass neck, about how
That's
that was
it.
just made up.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
that was
we
brontosaurus?
covered on the Patreon. Yeah, how
Yeah.
they just made that up. Like two competing paleontologists made up a brontosaurus.
Yeah.
It's not a real thing. Like it never. Even if dinosaurs were real, that sure is fucking real.
Okay. All right. And if
yeah.
we can put T-Rex in there too, I
Yeah.
think I
Sure.
would just I would let
I'm
it
with you.
go. Yeah. I would let that. I would just
I also
say,
don't
okay.
believe oil came from is dead dinosaurs. Like, I think oil's a naturally producing thing in the earth.
Yes. And you know how I think that too? Why I think that? Because do you not remember being taught this? So I'm older than you, so maybe they stopped teaching it this way, but I was taught that oil, coal, and diamonds were all the same thing, carbon.
Carbon, yep.
And that it just depends on the amount of pressure it was under. Okay. And that all carbon derives from life. Did you ever hear that? Anything that was made of carbon came from something that was alive.
So
well,
yeah, they say we're carbon, right?
Yeah. So we're definitely all life is carbon. We're carbon-based life, but that anything that you find that's made of carbon used to be something that was alive, which is kind of circuitous there. Anyway, but here's the punchline. Diamonds are created at least, miles under the earth, way deeper than life could have sunk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like when the fixation on carbon there. I don't know why. It just made me think of this. I don't know how much people know about cars, but obviously as a mechanic, I know quite a bit. But carbon, when it's cold, like the byproducts from combustion that you would see like an engine, carbon actually soaks up fuel whenever it's cold. So if you actually spray gasoline on carbon, like build up on like the back face of an engine valve, it'll actually suck up the gasoline.
And what does that mean?
So basically, like whenever your engine goes to fire, right, you have a little fuel injector. At least this is the way that it used to be up until probably about 10 years ago. The injector would open up, which would spray fuel at the intake valve, and the intake valve would go down, and then the fuel would get sucked into the cylinder whenever the intake on the intake strip, right? Mm-hmm. Right. So what would happen is that just over time from the engine running and byproducts from combustion, they would actually cover the back face of the intake and exhaust valves with carbon, right? So now whenever the engine's cold, so when you're going to do a cold start, that fuel, instead of making it into the cylinder, would just get soaked up by the carbon, because the carbon, when it's cold, tends to soak up fuel. So like on newer vehicles,
fuel is carbon though.
Well, gasoline's different than like the carbon on the back face of the valve. Right. The carbon is like, we're talking about like byproducts from combustion. So basically like hydrocarbons.
Right. But aren't they all supposedly biological in origin? Isn't that the story that we're told? What do you think?
I think that's what I was told.
I think that's what I was told. Yeah. So everything that we're talking about had to have come from, I wouldn't say dinosaurs, but I would say algae, like on the bottom of the ocean. But diamonds are from 100 miles down.
Yeah, I mean those diamond mines they dig are like super deep.
Yeah, so
I guess Hollow Earth.
The ocean is only 10 miles deep.
I am kind of curious of like, I'm sure you guys are aware of like the Marcellus shale bed, which is basically like a shale bed that goes from around like, I think the southwestern corner of Pennsylvania all across like most part of the northeastern part of the United States. How deep is that? Like, I don't know how deep that is.
No idea.
I've done, I did a research paper on it in college, but I don't know actually like how deep below the Earth's surface that actually is.
No idea.
Monica's on it.
What is it called?
The Marcellus Shale Bed.
I could be wrong about this, but I think like the surface of the Earth only fluctuates like 11 miles.
Oh, like from
It's
like
9,000 feet.
Damn.
Is the deepest.
Okay, so that's about 1.5 miles then.
yeah.
So, but that seems like, I feel like as deep as the ocean, I'll accept that, even twice as deep. So like if the ocean is just this constant millions and millions, hundreds of millions of years of algae just floating down, dying, floating down, dying, floating down, and that's how oil is formed, I'm okay with that. But it's 100 miles deep.
Right.
So I would like look at the crust of the Earth, like how thick is the crust of the Earth?
How deep is the Mariana Trench?
The ocean is 11 miles deep at the deepest.
So that's the Mariana Trench, right? It's the deepest part of the ocean.
So. I think so.
11 miles is crazy, dude.
Yeah.
That's so
My
fucking
dad was
far.
in the Pacific in the Navy and during World War II.
Ooh.
And yes, I'm the youngest of 9. He was very old. So, but he said he remembers being over 11 miles and he remembers torpedoes like going underneath and like, whoosh, it's like,
Yeah, dude.
like if we get snarfed here, I hope
The
I
ocean's
die.
So fucking scary, dude.
Did
The
you guys
ocean's
I
so
think
scary.
I'd rather. I think I'd rather be storming the beaches than be on a boat getting shot by torpedoes. I'll be honest.
Did you ever see the
Yeah,
picture
either way,
of it?
yeah.
It says the depth of the ocean, and at the very bottom is like they have a little thing of Cthulhu down at the very bottom.
Yeah,
You know what I'm talking about? I
yeah.
love that picture. It's so awesome.
I mean, that also, we got to wrap it up because Monica got to go. But like, that also goes to show you, like, we don't know what the fuck is down there, right? Like, we could only go, even our submersibles can only go so far. Where it's like,
So it's 11 clicks. It's only 7 miles.
What?
I thought 1 click was a mile. I don't know shit.
No, it's 11 kilometers and it is 6.8 miles. The Mariana Trench, which is, it says the deepest part. Boy, Mike, maybe it was 9 miles. I don't know, but yeah. So that makes it even more unbelievable that carbon could possibly reach 100 miles below the surface of the Earth that was made of dinosaurs. Sorry, I know I
Yeah, I don't
derailed
see
you.
it.
You wanted to talk about current events, and I wanted to talk.
No,
about
this is actually
No,
perfect.
no.
This is our show. It doesn't really.
I'm
have
sorry, I
much
feel
to-
so bad. Like Kyle's gonna hate me.
No, it's all right. I already we did a whole Patreon
Yeah.
episode on this.
He tried to shake my faith in
did.
dinosaurs,
All
but
right, I've
you're-
broken
you're-
some hearts over the
Yeah,
dinosaurs.
no,
I'm
no,
I'm an atheist of dinosaurs.
yeah, you can't break my heart on this one.
People
So
don't like
I
it.
have dinosaur stuff all over the room.
Okay,
here
good,
in
good,
case
good, good.
it's not
Let's wrap it up so Monica could get out of here. Thank you so much for hosting this because Sam is a piece of
My
shit,
pleasure.
and he will be hearing it from me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you wrap it up, then I'll end it. But then hang on, guys, so we can, get organized.
Yeah. No, tell everybody where we can find you. Or well, I mean, it's your.
Yeah, thank you.
thing
Yes,
still. Yeah.
you can find me right here. The Monica Perez Show. This is my own YouTube channel right now. But I'm always just Monica Perez Show, at Monica Perez Show, yada, yada, on your favorite podcasting platform and Substack and .com and all of that. And I have like 1,000 archived shows on my website. So if you want to know anything that I have ever covered, including a massive deep dive on Don't Tell Kyle about how fake dinosaurs are, you can find it on my website.
All right. Well, maybe I have to do a little bit of digging, but you can find me at Kyle Matovic on Twitter. I am now officially back. I'll be doing my show once a week on Sundays, couple hours for a live stream covering foreign policy topics. And of course, A Common Crown is cooking up new music. We just got back our first song with vocals, and man, it is killer.
That's awesome.
So make sure you go check out A Common Crown and Liberty and Health, of course, 5 till midnight on YouTube, Rumble, all that good stuff, and Komatovic, and the Great Megalodon on Substack, where you could hear about all things heavy metal and guitar related. So I know I'm very, very crazy busy with all this stuff. And before I let everybody else do their plugs, shout out to the Patreon supporters as well, which I can't believe we have that many. Holy shit. Jake S, Stash, Daniel M, T-Rex, NER Kist, Eddie Grimm, Jay Forte, Jacob, Chuck D Wagon, Silly Cat, Corey Greenleaf, Cole Dobner, Ray, and Eric F. Thank you guys so much for being Patreon subscribers. I can't believe we have that many. That is awesome.
Shout out to you guys. This week on Patreon, we will be doing our Mount Rushmore of favorite horror movie villains. Wednesday, I think we're trying to live stream that. I'm actually going to do it right this time though. So Wednesday, check that out. Follow me at Adam Nutter on X and Twitter. X, Instagram, and the Adam Nutter on TikTok.
At the Real Typo on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll just say thank you, Monica, for saving the show tonight.
Yes,
and being a guest.
Sam, oh yeah, first female guest, Monica Perez. Everybody, the only female worthy of being on this show.
Thank you. I can hang. That is my only superpower. I can hang.
Yo, thank you. Sam's a piece of shit. Go yell at Sam, everybody, for not being on our own Rumble. Go yell at Sam.
All right, everybody. Let's wrap her up.